got 14 people watching. Okay, so I'm Sally from the Grooming Studio in Hollyport in Berkshire, and I own the Grooming Studio, and at the moment what's happening is we all know we're out of work, we're not working, we're not allowed to if we're a non-essential business. So that's really rubbish for many people, and I think we're all feeling it right now, especially with the isolation. Boring doesn't even cover it, so let's not go there. We're gonna make the best of a bad situation. So I thought I'd do a live with my customers to be there for you and try and support you through this difficult time, because you are stuck at home with probably a breed, not necessarily a breed that needs a lot of grooming, but if you're one of my customers, and 80% of my customers are dogs that come every 4 to 6 weeks, so you're probably stuck at home with a dog that needs a lot of attention. Its coat needs a lot of attention, and you're going to struggle with that because it's not easy, and you're about to find out that it's not easy. So I want to do as much as I can to help you. I'm going to talk about this at the end as well, but I want to let you know now, I'm also going to do one-to-one WhatsApp or Facebook live, not live, one-to-one videos with you. So if you are really struggling from Monday to Friday, you can video call me and I will be with you all the way through brushing your dog at home. So I can actually see you, see what you're doing, and support you through that. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about how you need to set your dog up. It's going to be very difficult for you to set your dog up. Hi Charlotte, hi Christina, thanks for tuning in. Charlotte Henwood is my daughter. I'm going to talk to you about how you need to set your dog up at home to get your dog in that grooming frame of mind. But if you're really struggling, I'm available Monday to Friday, working hours. Don't ring me at 10 o'clock at night when I've had a glass of wine to help you with grooming, because I'll be no good to you. All right, in the daytime, and video call me, and I'm going to sit and watch you, and I'm going to help you groom your dog from home, and I can see exactly what you're doing then, and I can talk you through it. I can do so much with Sid, but there's a lot of things I can't show you with Sid, like how to manipulate the joints and the body and the leg parts to get the best brushing. There's ways to hold the dog, there's ways to move the joints to brush them. So hi Rachel. So it's just tips and techniques, but if you are really struggling at home, you can video call me and I'm going to help you on a one-to-one basis, and that's free. Okay, I'm going to help you at home. But if you're at home now and you're thinking, oh my god, this is a nightmare, there's some things you can do with your dog at home to help you groom your dog at home. So first of all, I like to go with what the dog is comfortable with and happy with. Hi Emma. Hi Rachel. I said hello to Rachel. So, what is your dog? Is your dog really comfortable with being groomed on the floor or being groomed on your lap? Depending on the size of your dog, obviously. If your dog will let you do anything to it if it's on your lap, or will let you do anything to it if it's on the floor, then groom your dog on the floor. Groom your dog on your lap. Go with your dog. If they will let you do absolutely anything with them, as long as they're on your lap, do that. Groom them on your lap. It's perfect. Hi Michelle Foster. Hi Sally. Hi AD. So get them on the floor, get them on your lap, size depending. If they're happy to do that and they're happy with being in that position, groom them like that. But most of you, hi AD, most of you are going to struggle with that. Most of you are going to need your dog in a grooming headset. Okay, and what I mean by that is get them in a place that they're used to. So when they come to me, they're used to being on a grooming table, they're used to being on a height, they're used to being having a neck strap and a neck strap attached. They're used to that. Okay, that's what they do every 4 to 6 weeks with me, and it gets them in that grooming mindset because they're up on a table, they're up on a height, and they're ready for work. Okay, so I would say to you, if you can get some sort of grooming noose off of Groomers Online, which is still trading at the moment, or Amazon, get a grooming noose. What your problem's going to be is what you're going to attach that to. So you're going to need to try and find something. So Okay, for small and medium breeds, get them up on a coffee table, right? Your larger breeds on a coffee table, not a glass coffee table, a wooden, strong coffee table. That's for your big breeds. Medium-sized breeds, you want them on the dining table, and small breeds, you want them on your worktops in the kitchen, okay? It's not ideal, but we're not living in an ideal situation, so we've got to go with what we've got. I haven't got a dog, should I groom my husband? Yes, he'll love that, especially if you're in isolation. Good question. So, get your dog up on a height. Now, not on a towel. I've got a towel because Sid's not going anywhere. Towels are slippery and your worktops and your tables are probably slippery. To get yourself a bath mat, you need a bath mat. Put your bath mat on a dining table or on a worktop and get them so that they're nice and secured on, you know, get the plungers to suck on. I can't see into your houses. I don't know what your setups are. But try and get a bath mat so your dog is standing on a bath mat. That's non-slip. You don't want your dog standing flush on a dining table or flush on a worktop because it's just going to skid everywhere and your dog's not going to be happy with that. They like to feel secure on a table. So bath mat down, dog up on a height, grooming noose if you can get one, and find somewhere that you can attach this to. Push your table up against a wall. If you've got a dining room table, get your table up against a wall so your dog's got the security of the wall there and they're not going to feel like they're going to go off the other side. They can't fall off this side because you're there. They can't fall off that side because the wall's there. Get them attached like this. Get the table up against the wall, or if you're on a kitchen worktop, you can get them up against a worktop. The next thing you need to do is hi Charlotte. The next thing you need to do is you need to get your dog in that mindset of grooming. So you need to stand them, or what we call is stack them. And this is stacking your dog. Get your hand under the dog and just lift them and get them to stand on all fours. There are certain things they can sit for, but when you're grooming the back end, you need them standing. So get your hand underneath here, just give them a lift. Every time they sit down, lift them again. You might have to do it 5 or 6 times. In the end, they get bored of trying to sit and they just stand. And they're used to having to stand. So just keep repeating up, 3, 4, 5, however many times you've got to do it, and they will eventually stand, and then you can start brushing that back end. The biggest bit of advice I can give you is never ever leave that grooming table unattended. Never step away from that dog. Do not leave your dog unattended on the table, on the worktop for any time. If you're coming away from the table, that dog comes down off the table, and that's for obvious reasons. They're attached by a neck noose, and if they jump off the table, you're going to have serious injuries. So you never leave a dog unattended, not for 1 minute, not for 1 second, all right? You're with that dog all the time. Once you've got your dog secured, you need your equipment, okay? So you're going to need brushes and you're going to need combs. Now, at the moment, doesn't matter what brush and comb you've got, not really. You know, you'll be lucky if you can get, you've probably all got something like this. A standard slicker brush. These are okay for coated dogs that don't have thick, deep coats. Again, your sort of labs and even Shih Tzus, Westies, they're okay. They're not ideal, they're not a professional brush. All slickers are not created equal, let me tell you. Hi Clyde. These are not good, they're rubbish. But they'll do in an emergency. A brush is better than no brush. If you were getting a professional brush, I use one of these. There's 4 colours and they all do different things. These are Simpsons online and Simpsons are closed. But try Amazon, because sometimes Simpsons might be trading on Amazon, I don't know. Your red one is your dematting one. That's for dematting and brushing out knots. That one's for a coat that's dematted already. That's your doodle brush, your blue one. It's got 2 sides, light grey, dark. Light grey's for breaking up the hair. Dark side is for brushing and doing a finish. But you're not bathing and stuff, so you're not going to, you just need a brush, okay? They all do different things. This is for getting out undercoat, and so these are really good for your German Shepherds, Golden Retrievers, anything that's got a bit of an undercoat that needs stripping out. These are really good for that. These are for your smooth coats. These are really good for your Shih Tzus, your Cavies, your Yorkshire Terriers, your Afghans, all your drop coats, your silk coats. But this is what you want if you're a doodle owner. Anything with a poodle, Bichon, anything like that, this is what you need. Hi Clyde, thank you. Oh, that's nice, a little bit of support. So this is what you need if you've got anything like a Pouchon, Cavapouchon, all your doodle types, you're going to need this. If you've got Westies, Shih Tzus, those sorts of breeds, these are also quite good on those. These are what I meant, the purple one, which is for your other ones. But it gets complicated. A brush is a brush, sort of. But, you know, like I said, they're not all created equal. But if that is all you've got, that will do. Okay. You're going to need a coat spray. What make is that if we go on Amazon? So you're looking for Simpson slicker brushes. Okay. Now your light blue one, Annie, that is not that is a doodle brush, and that's fine, but that's for brushing. It's not brilliant for dematting. You'll want the red one for dematting, and what does all on that red one, so that's fine. This one's stiffer, and as they go down in colour, they become more flexible until you get to the green one, which moves really well. So the more movement, the more gentle the brush is, and that's fine if you've got a dog that's really sensitive. So if you've got something that's really, really sensitive, get something that's really flexy, because they'll tolerate that sort of brush. So one of my customers, Nikki, if you're on here with Bonnie, this is a good one. But, you know, to get through the hair, you need something that's a little bit tough. And the thicker their coat, the more they're going to tolerate the brushing as well. So don't worry about thinking, oh God, that feels a bit harsh. That's okay, because you're not brushing the skin, you're brushing the coat. And I'm going to show you how to do that later. Hi Darlene, hope you're well. Hi Tara, thank you Sally, you're welcome. So, I'm trying to read and talk, so I hope I'm doing okay. Right, where am I at? I've done my notes here. Oh, coat spray. Right, you need a coat spray. So the two that I use is Banish, that's from Simpsons, or Julie Harris Coat Conditioning Spray. You need one of these. There's lots out there on the market. Even groomers do a detangle one. That's in Pets at Home. I know it is, I've seen it. My favourite is Julie Harris. That's what I use all the time. I love this. And it's going to put a silicone coat on your dog, and it's going to help you with brushing. Don't try and brush a coat that's not treated. It's not fun for the dog, okay? Now, don't use loads. If you use too much, you're going to be slipping everywhere. If you get it on the floor, the dog's going to be slipping everywhere. You're going to have accidents. You only need a fine mist, like this, fine mist over the dog's coat. So if I've got the dog here, I'm just going to put a fine mist, like this, 1, 2, 3, just over the side I'm working on. Just like that, that's it. And then you're going to then brush that in, okay? So, when you're brushing your dog, you're going to do something called line brushing, okay? And that's where you work in sections through the dog's coat, okay? I'm going to use my dematting brush. Poor Sid has not been touched. I don't know the condition of his coat. I've had a bit of a feel. It's not great. This is probably what your dog's going to look like if you don't brush it. Okay? Not good. So, I'm starting with Sid, and I'm going to start with brushing, doing something called line brushing. So, you're going to lift the coat from the bottom of the foot and get your dog standing like this. If it's comfortable for you to sit and groom, then sit and groom. I stand and groom all the time, but that's because I'm comfortable standing and grooming. Today, for this purpose, I'm going to sit and groom. But if you're more comfortable sitting and grooming, then do that. Don't take any nonsense from your dog on the table. This is not time for fun and games and playing. I've heard people say, oh, I give my dog a chew while I'm grooming. I give my dog a brush to put in his mouth while I'm grooming. All sorts of mad things. I mean, that's just crazy. Don't do that. The floor is for play, the table is for work, and don't mix the two up. They get off of me when they're on the table, they get praise through my voice when they're being good, but I don't play games and have fun with them. This is time for work. So don't take any nonsense. Get them up on the table, get them listening to you, okay? Hi Carol, hello, thank you Sally, and hi Angie, hi Sylvia. So get them up on the table and get them listening. No nonsense. If you're a bit nervous and you're a little bit with them, they're going to feel that, they're going to know that, and they're going to play you up. And some of you have got dogs that are quite difficult to groom. You know, they come out looking like they do because I've been in the industry 22 years. And I've learnt about handling dogs and where to touch dogs and how to hold their legs. And so I know what I'm doing. You're going to find this hard. So if you're not confident and absolutely confident with them, you're going to have problems. So don't get into a fight with them. You don't want them to not be happy, but you have got to be, you know, really confident about what you're doing and take no nonsense. Don't let them chew your hand while you're brushing them. Say no, push the head away, no. You're not having any of that. Once you finish grooming, you can get them on the floor, you can have a play with them, you can praise them, give them a treat, say well done, and do all of that on the floor. But while they're up on the table, they're to listen to you, and that's really important, okay? So, take the back leg, take the hair from the bottom of the back leg and push the hair up. So you've got a little section here and you're going to line brush. So you'll see a line where part of the hair separates and you're just going to brush that part there with your slicker brush. I don't know if you can see that clearly. I hope you can. Hi Carol. Thanks Sam. How you doing? Oh, thank you. So pull that bit down there and just can you see a bit of a line appearing where you can just see their skin? So you know that that brush has got to the bottom of that coat. It's no good just brushing the top like this, like a lot of people do. Brush the top. Oh, that looks nice. That's done. It's not done. You've got to get underneath that coat. You've got to get to the skin. So find that line and then brush, 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 brush all the way round. Take from the inside. You can lift this leg. Sid can't lift his leg, bless him. He's a bit stiff. But your dog, you can lift his leg. Hi, Michelle. Lift that leg up and hold it. Now, don't lift the leg out to the side. This joint doesn't cope with that very well. There's a bit of flexion there, but really keep the leg in line with the body, okay? So push the leg up, hold the leg there, and do this. Don't pull the leg out to the side, okay? And brush that part. And you're going to work all the way round until you have completed one section. Now, dogs are like people in terms of their sensitivity as well. Like, if somebody brushed my hair, I would be in agony. It really hurts. I'm not good with it at all. I don't like it. I'm very sensitive in my scalp. But other people, you could brush really hard. You could brush your own hair really hard and you don't even feel it. And it's the same with dogs. You'll know what type your dog is. Some dogs you can really get stuck in with the brush and really be quite aggressive with the brush. Other dogs, you've only got to touch them and they're through the roof. So work out what type of... Most of your dogs are pretty good at being brushed. So, you know, just really try and just understand where your dog's at and work with that. But don't be afraid to get stuck in with the brush, okay? And maybe use a softer brush on the more sensitive dogs. I'm just going to go back to seeing what people are saying. Thanks, Sam. Oh, bless you. Real. Millia's come running to my phone. She's recognised your voice. Oh, that's cute. Thank you, Michelle. And thank you, Carol. Being generous with your time and skills. Oh, bless you. You're welcome. Thanks for joining out of interest as well. That's good. So when you've worked round that section and you've done that whole section, just that section, you're then going to go in with your comb. So your brush does the work, your comb checks the work. All right? So we're going to go in with that little section and we're going to go in with the comb and brush all the way through. Now, I can hear you saying, what am I going to do if I come across a knot? Well, I'm going to help you with that. Now, some of you will have been due for grooming last week. Some of you will be due this week. You're getting to that point now where your dogs, you know, are ready for grooming. So you might come across a couple of little knots now because you might be on your 4 to 6 week cycle and due in with me. So you're going to come across a couple of knots. I'm going to help you with that. But the idea is, if you're grooming your dog every day, it's going to take 15 minutes and no knots. If you leave it, and this is the double, you know, the real thick wool type coat breeds, if you leave it, you're going to have problems. And by the time you get to me, they're going to be matted solid, and I'm going to have to clip them off, buzz cut, and they're going to look like skinned rabbits, and you're going to hate it. So let's not get there. We don't want that. Don't worry about the length. The length is not a problem. It's the brushing. My advice to you is just brush, 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 comb. Brush, 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 comb. You're keeping on top of that coat. Your dog's not going to get matted. There's no mats, there's no knots, so the air can circulate through the hair and get to the skin. So they're not going to overheat dramatically. They'll be fine. I am going to do another video to show you how to do the eyes and the fringe, so that your dog isn't bumping into things, because when that grows, they're going to have problems seeing. So I will do a video to help you with that. But today we're just concentrating on brushing. So if you come across a knot, this is what you're going to do. I'm going to put Sid on his side, so that just for the purposes of showing you. Say you come across a knot in there. Go back in with the brush, see if you can break it up and get rid of it. But if you can't, when you go back in there, I want you to get that comb between the skin and the knot. That comb is going to be your safety net to stop you cutting your dog, because you're not skilled with handling scissors. And even the best of us can have accidents with scissors. They're sharp, your dog's got to move at the wrong time, accidents happen, and that's, you know, skilled people have accidents, it happens. So I'm telling you, don't use scissors unless you're doing this technique. So you're going to get the comb in there, you're going to get the comb, say the knot's right in there, and you've got your comb between the knot and the skin. So your comb is now your protection. That's going to stop you cutting your dog's skin or cutting your dog by mistake because the comb's there. And you're going to go in and just nip it out with a pair of scissors. Just nip it out like that. And that comb's there to stop you cutting your dog. I don't know if you can see that, but you know, that's the way to do it. Thanks, Angela. Bye. So, is Secret Weapon Hypnotic good for this? Secret Weapon's an excellent product. Yes, use Secret Weapon. Love Secret Weapon. Really good product. There's loads of great products on the market. These are just what I use. So by all means, if you find something that you like, they've all got a silicone base to them. So they're going to coat the hair, and they're going to give you a bit of a slide through with that comb and brush. So yeah, absolutely fine. You're not free at the moment, Sam. That's good. I'm impressed. Well done. Excellent. Right, so you know that technique with your comb. Get your comb between the knot and the skin, and then put your scissors there to remove that knot, so that the comb is your protection from cutting the dog in between the coat and the skin, okay? Right, and that's all you're going to do. You're just going to work up to the next section, get quite stuck in there. That's it. Pull that bit down, pull the next bit down, and you're going to work all the way around the leg, and you can hold their leg quite firmly. They're used to that. They're used to me holding that leg quite firmly. Don't be namby-pamby with it, because they'll just fight you. Hold the leg like you mean to hold it, and then do your next section. Go back in with the comb right to the root of the coat. Don't just comb this top fluffy bit that looks nice. You've got to get right in there with that comb. If your comb stops, that means there's a knot. Take the comb out, go back in with the brush. If your comb pulls through, you know that you've done that section. If the knot won't come out with the brush, do the technique I showed you with the scissors and the comb, okay? Thanks, Sally, this is helpful. Should be working from home, but watching this. Don't work from home, watch this. It's much more fun. I hope you've got a glass of wine. So work through that knot and work through that top section. Poor Sid's getting a bit of a battering. He's doing ever so well, isn't he? Love you, Sid. I can't wait to scissor him. I have no idea what nylon scissors like, but we'll find out, because I will cut him at some point. Now, when you get to the top bit, this is the part that everybody kind of doesn't really struggle with. and they don't struggle with the body because there's hardly any contact or friction. So most of you will have no problem keeping the top section of your dog mat free. You'll find that quite easy because there's no friction, nothing's rubbing it. Your hotspot areas are your armpits and your elbows, where your harness goes, where the collar goes, behind the ears, under the legs, inside the legs, and the flanks and the hip. This is where your dog sits. This is where your dog moves. Those are the areas that get matted. And once they start to mat, it just builds. So you're going to have to be really vigilant about brushing the hotspot areas. And if you are someone that has a harness, please, if you can, when your dog is running free, leave a collar on, take the harness off. Because harnesses and these coat types are a nightmare. Even for all your other breeds, your Westies, your Shih Tzus, all of those that wear a harness, they've got long hair underneath from their armpits. It rubs like mad and they get matted in all those areas. If you're going to leave the harness on for any length of time, just make sure when you get home you brush that area really, really well, okay? So you're not going to have a problem brushing the top stuff because you do that all the time and there's no contact areas. Now, the private bits, the sensitive bits underneath where, you know, their privates are, what we call the hygiene area. Okay, that's quite a sensitive area for a dog. It's quite, if they're going to get any sort of little skin problems or little reactions, it'll be in the hygiene area. You can brush that area, use a softer brush. Get the leg up, cock the leg up, get underneath and give that a good brush, okay? It's okay to do that. But you need to keep those hygiene areas really not free and really, really well brushed because that's where they go to the toilet, especially boys and willies, you know, nightmare, the hair around their willy gets clogged up, it smells. Wash that area, brush that area because they're going to get all knotted and smelly around there, okay? You won't notice all these things when you come to me because every 4 to 6 weeks when you come to me, I do their hygiene areas, I clip out their hygiene areas, I clip out under their armpits. So you haven't got to worry about that. But you're going to have to brush that now, okay? And not everybody will like it, okay? I need to drop off now. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome, Rachel. Take care, my lovely. Okay, so keep brushing, keep working through the dog until you've covered every area. And tails. Don't forget the tail. You know, every part of your dog needs brushing, especially the tail area. The tail is where they sit, it's rubs, their tails get very matted. Brush that tail area, get underneath, brush on top, all round. You know, you've got to pay quite a lot of attention to sort of brushing that area. And then go through with the comb. Like that. You're going to get knots inside the pads, underneath the pads, inside the digits. So I've posted a video of another groomer that did a really nice video on pads and feet, so keep an eye on those. We've got grass seed season coming up, May to September, grass seed season, nightmare. Be vigilant of your pads and your feet and your legs, especially these sort of long-haired breeds, all the long-haired breeds, not just the wool type coats. Keep an eye on those because your grass seeds penetrate through that hair and they're like a barb. Once they go in the skin, they go out like that, like a barb. So they're a nightmare. You've got to really check for grass seeds because they can be quite a problem, okay? So once you've brushed your dog out, you know, really, that's all you really need to do to keep on top of it. If you want to bath your dog, that's a great idea, bath your dog. But only bath your dog if, A, you wash out the shampoo absolutely thoroughly. Rinse, rinse, rinse. Do not leave shampoo in your dog's coat. Wash your dog all over. If there's less dirt in the coat, that's going to make your brushing easier. You're going to have to brush them once they dry as well. You haven't got a dryer at home. You haven't got a way of blasting their coats dry. So you're going to have to wait for them to dry and then brush them straight away. Otherwise, the water is going to tighten the knots. So your best thing to do is just keep on top of that daily brushing. If the thought of brushing your dog every day drives you crazy and you think, I can't do that, that's just too much for me, then one tip that I give to all my customers is this. Break your dog down into 7 sections. What's this? I need to, Marley can hear your voice. Oh, bless him. Need to shoot now, Sally. What a great blog. Sending you love. Thank you, Mel. So, break your dog down into sections. head being section 1, body section 2, 4 legs and a tail, 7 sections. Brush 1 section a day. This is great advice, it's really cool. Brush 1 section a day. Day 1 the head, day 2 the body, 3, 4, 5, 6 a leg each day, 7 the tail. If you brush one part of your dog every day thoroughly, by the end of the week you have groomed your whole dog. And then on Monday start again, start with the body part that you first started with. It's a lot easier, it's a lot more methodical way of grooming, and you'll find that you'll be able to keep on top of the brushing a lot better. But like I said, if you want to bath your dog, that's absolutely fine. But once your dog is dried and dried well, you're going to have to go straight back in with brushing, okay? Poppy keeps looking at the phone as well. That's funny, they do know your voice, don't they? Yeah, so keep on top of the brushing. Behind the ears, I posted another video on there from that same groomer about ears. Oh, spaniel ears, cocker spaniel ears, field spaniels, clumber spaniels, all your spaniels, anything with a big, thick drop ear. Keep on top of those ears. They mat as quick as anything. Like this, you blink, they'll be matted. Spaniels' ears get knocked right behind them. They don't have a great airflow because their ears are drop ears. So the only time they really get airflow is when they're running, unlike the pricked eared breeds and the other side set eared breeds. You know, they get a nice airflow all the time. If anything's going to have an ear problem, it'll be a drop eared breed. So, you know, keep on top of those ears, brush those ears every day. So keep brushing, paying particular attention to the collar, the harness, the armpits, round here. I can tell what side a dog sits on by where their matting is. If they've got matting on the left, they're probably preferring to sit on that left hip when they sit. So I know where the matting builds up, I know which side your dog tends to sit. So pay particular attention to those areas as well, okay? So brush, comb, brush, comb. I think, you know, I've probably kind of covered brushing and combing as much as I can. Front leg, pull that front leg up like that. Get them in front of you if you want to. Pull that front leg up and get under there with the comb and the brush and give it a good brush and comb like this, okay? And then get under there with the comb like that. And they can hold their leg up to about there quite comfortably for a while. Don't pull their leg right up in the air, waving it around, because they'll find that quite tricky. Just get them to hold the leg up in front. They can sit for brushing the front legs as well. If they're more comfortable sitting, let them sit. Lift that front leg, get in there with the comb and the brush. Hold that foot nice and securely, nice and still, so they know you mean business, and then work through with your comb and with your brush. And get right up into that armpit. They don't like it very much in the armpits, but just give it a go, you know. I mean, there's so much information I could give you, but, you know, I don't want to bore you, and I'm just trying to get across, you know, the best way to keep on top of it. Thank you, Sam. You're welcome. Don't forget you can video call me as well if you want some help at home, Sam. I'm going to be doing that as well. So just keep on top of it every day as much as you can, so that you're starting to work through that coat and keep on top of it. Because once the knots start to build up, they just get worse and worse. They don't get better and they don't go away. And the whole point is that you want the air to be able to circulate through the coat so your dog's skin can breathe nicely, especially as you're going to be having longer coats now, you know, and growing out those coats. Behind the ears, another hot spot that rubs. So get in there behind the ears. Give him a good brush round his face. Hold it, put your thumb there as well when you brush the face. So you've got the thumb between the eye, and then you can just protect the eye with your thumb. And you can also hold their face like this when you're brushing their face. They're all your dogs are used to having their face held like that, you know, quite securely. It's not their favourite thing, but they're all right with it. Like this. So, anything that you want to ask me so far? Is there any questions you've got? Anything you're not sure about? Nails, what are you going to do about nails while groomers are off and vets are only doing essential operations and treatments? Lots of walking, that's what you can do. Dew claws obviously are non-contact, they're not touching the floor, so you need to do your dew claws. I can help you one-to-one. Get yourself a pair of nail clippers, ring me, video me, and I'll help you cut your dog's nails live. But if you're quite confident, you know, do it and just take a little bit off at a time. Don't go mad, little bit at a time. White nails, you're going to see that vein really clearly. Black nails, you're going to have to look for the dot, which means you're going to turn that nail upside down, and when you start to see a dot, you're getting close to the vein. When you're cutting dogs' toenails, do not cut them side to side, because that pinches the vein and is very sore. You're cutting the dog's nails from top to bottom, okay, not side to side. That squashes the vein and it's painful. Come from the other way in and you're cutting the nail top to bottom. Very hard to demonstrate without a real dog, I'm afraid, but it's kind of the best I can do. So, I think we've covered pretty much as I can for today. I think I've gone through everything. Don't forget that you can buy grooming vouchers with me for your next groom. So my neighbour's made up some lovely vouchers. If you want to buy a grooming voucher from the grooming studio, you can, and you can claim that when you next can book in with me. What else? Yeah, free WhatsApp one-to-one video live. So giving you my time there so I can help you with your one-to-one videos. What else was I going to say? I think I'm going to do a competition for a best home groom when we come back. I'm going to make it a nice prize, but I don't know what yet. I'm going to have to think about that. But I'm going to do a competition for best home groom. So the best groomed dog over this isolation period, I'm going to do a prize for. That means the least amount of knots, the best kept coat, you're going to get something. And I need to think about that. Is there anything else that you want to ask me? Thank you for your time, Sally. Oh, you're welcome. Is it safe for us amateurs to trim hygiene areas, areas and eyes? Yes, it is, providing you get bull nose scissors. So, what have I got up here that I can show you? Hang on. So you want bull nose scissors. There we go. Can you see the end of those scissors? No? Up. There you go. Can you see how they're rounded off at the end? So get yourself a pair of bull nose scissors, alright? And that means that you haven't got the sharp points at the end, you're not going to stab your dog. Hygiene areas, bum, definitely bums. Oh, I get pooey bums coming in all the time, and I think, why? Why is this happening? That's going to make your dog really sore. Don't leave poo on the bum. Keep those hygiene areas clean. Keep them scissored so that your dog can toilet without getting that problem on their back end. It gets very, very, very sore, that area. So keep the bums nice and clean. It's not a glamorous job. None of us want to do it, but it's part of dog owning. So yeah, keep those bums nice and clean. Eyes, I'm going to do a video for eyes, how to trim the eyes, how to trim the fringe. I'm going to do a separate video for that. Eye goop, that's another one. Now, when they come to me, I wash that away and I take that part away from them. But underneath, most of the time underneath all that eye goop, there is sore, split, red skin. Because bacteria, it's an ideal breeding ground for bacteria. It's damp, it's smelly, it's dirty, and bacteria loves it. So keep those eyes clean. Wash them away. Lukewarm water with a cotton pad. Keep the eyes clean. I'm going to show you how to use scissors to trim the eye area and the bum area. But, you know, keep the eyes clean. Keep the bums clean, because anything that sticks to anything, it's like boys and their willies with the hair that grows, and then they wee, and the wee sits in the hair, and then that sits on the skin. All those areas that we do as groomers for you, and you don't have to think about it every 4 to 6 weeks. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to keep, otherwise you're going to get sores and you're going to get skin infections. Ears, dogs that have problems with ears, keep those ears clean. Comb out the hair from inside the ear. Use your bull nose scissors. Remember the technique I showed you with the comb? Get the comb that side of the hair and just trim the ear hair like this. Outside the comb, okay? And you're just going to take that hair away from inside the ear. Don't go in the ear with anything. Just cleaning what you can see. You can clean the ears nicely, but don't go in that ear canal. But all these things you're going to need to sort of keep on top of: ear care, eye care, bum care, hygiene area care. All of those sorts of areas that I would normally do for you, you're going to have to keep on top of. Especially eye bogies, because they sit and sit and sit, And by the time I get to take them away, underneath, they've always got the really sore eyes, really sore skin, you know, and ears as well, you know, major problem. I mean, I can smell an ear infection as it walks in the door, you know. I mean, if it's really offensive, if the wax is dirty and really smelly and offensive, there's something going on there. So lift these big eared breeds, lift the hair, look inside the ear. What does it smell like? What does it look like? Is it normal? Is the vet going to treat any ear problem at the moment? I don't know if they are. If they're not going to treat an ear problem, get some anti-back ear powder from, hang on. So I use canker powder. This is what I put in your dog's ears. But any canker type of powder, it doesn't necessarily mean your dog's got canker. It could be anything they've got. But this powder, just put it in the ear, give it a little bit of a rub after you've cleaned it with a cotton wool pad. I mean, the best way of cleaning ears is with ear cleaner, but if you can't get ear cleaner, then use warm water and a cotton wool pad to clean the ear, and then put some powder on and just give it a little rub in, and then that will keep the ears nice and fresh and clean, okay? I think everyone has moaned about the price of groom will now realise that it's worth every penny. Thank you, Anita, and I agree. I think that, you know, what we do is a skill, and we've paid a lot of money to learn this skill, and it takes years to perfect it as well. And, you know, my prices are very reasonable, and we do a lot. And I think a lot of people are about to find out exactly, you know, what us groomers do. But let's not bang on about that too much, because, you know, I'm here to help you. So, yeah, my top tips are nails. You know, it's a bit of a myth if you walk on concrete that you'll keep the dog's nails down completely. That is a slight myth. If you're a runner and your dog runs with you every day for 45 minutes to an hour, probably will keep the nails down really well. But a walk round the block is not going to do it. So, you know, I would suggest thinking about looking up on how to do nail clipping. Like I said, a little bit at a time. Get some nail clippers. If you're really nervous, leave it. Just up your walking, because it will help. I can definitely tell the difference between a dog that's never walked and a dog that's walked. And I can tell that through their nails. So the more walking you do, it will help. Your problem is if you've got dew claws. You know, if you've got a dog with dew claws, non-contact claws, they're going to grow round. There's nothing keeping them down. And if they grow round into the pad, you're going to have a problem there. You know, you're going to end up with a bit of a hole eventually, and soreness and possible infection. So the dew claws I'm worried about. All the stuff that I do every time you come to me that you don't have to think about is nails, ears, bums, hygiene areas, eyes. You know, all that stuff that I'm doing all the time is now your job to think about at the moment. So with the dew claws, get yourself a pair of clippers. If you're nervous, there is really tiny ones you can get, ever so tiny little, and just take a little bit off, even if it's just a tiny bit off, every day or every other day. You know, you're keeping on top of those dew claws. Anything else you would like to ask me while I'm here? Thanks, Claire. You go, Sally. Oh, thanks, Claire. Anything else you want to ask me while I'm here? So you need a good conditioning spray, you need a brush, you need a comb, you need to work methodically. Start at the back of the dog, work your way up and forward to the front, then turn the dog round, start at the back, work your way up, forward to the front. That's a routine that your dogs are used to. That's a routine I do with them all the time. They're used to that. Okay, conditioning spray, give them a good spritz with a spray on the side you're working on, and use that to get the brush through the coat. And you're going to line brush, okay, section at a time, line brushing, brush, comb, brush, comb. If you come across a knot, you know how to remove that now. Ears, eyes, bums, nails, hygiene areas, armpits. Don't forget the armpits, they are hot spots for matting. So brush those armpits out. They don't like it very much, but just go with it. Just they're used to having it done. I brush their armpits out all the time. And if I can't, then I go zzz, which you can't do. So just brush. Just use a softer brush. It's fine. Right. I think we're coming to kind of an end. I'll have a little look at my book and my notes to make sure I've covered everything. I've talked to you about the one-to-one WhatsApp videoing that I'm here for you Monday to Friday. If you're really stuck, I can be in the room with you and help you and tell you what to hold and how to hold the leg, and I can see what you're doing. So if you're getting really stuck, video call me. I'm here for you, okay? That is what I want to offer you. I'm here for you. Ring me. Don't worry about it. Don't think, oh, shall I, shan't I? Video call me and I will talk you through brushing your dog out. Get your dog up on a height, get a bath mat, get a grooming noose. Think about how you're going to secure the dog from the neck. Never step away from the table. Never leave the dog unattended. And yeah, that's it. Give me a call if you want me to do that. I'm going to do a prize for the best home groomed dog when you come back to me. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be worth winning, okay? I just need to think about what it's going to be. So a prize for the best home groom. Please don't be tempted to cut your dog. I know you're going to be really tempted to cut your dogs, but don't do it. Have you seen the home grooms that are floating around on the internet? They look awful. They look butchered. Don't do it, okay? You've just got to cope with a bit of growth. The dogs are going to get long. It's a bit rubbish. If you know what you're doing with a pair of clippers and you're quite comfortable, then do it. But if you don't, it is a skill. Scissoring is a skill, clipping is a skill. And if you don't know what you're doing, just don't do it. All you got to remember is brush, brush, brush. That's it. And then I'm going to do a video how to cut the fringe and the eyes so your dogs don't bump into things. All right? And I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's everything for today. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening to me waffle on and on and on and on. I'm missing you and your dogs loads. So keep sending me some pictures, because my dogs passed away last year from old age. And it wasn't too hard because I had your dogs as company throughout the day. And I haven't even got that now. So send me pictures of your dogs. I'm missing them. I want to see your dogs. Hang on in there with the grooming. You know, don't beat yourself up if it's not going really well. Just do one area a day. Say, today I'm going to do a leg. Tomorrow I'll do another leg. All right? Take care, everyone. Love you lots. Give me some feedback. I want to know if I did all right for you. Mwah.